Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for game of our best of 3 this evening. It's only one match, IG versus LGD. LGD leading 1-0. They did it on the back of a CK Wisp. It was convincing. It was dominant, and gods for IG, the struggles continue.
They really do. It's starting to get worrying if you're an IG fan. They just can't seem to catch a break here. The only match they've really won recently is that best of 1 against DK back in the G1 LAN finals, but that didn't really mean much. They were knocked out in the group stage. Yeah,
they had a really slow start at the G1 League. They didn't perform well there. They're not performing well here. Even in the Dota 2 Super League, we've seen Tongfu 2-0 them. It hasn't been their strongest performance, but guys, where there's IG, there's always hope. We'll hop ourselves into Game 2 now. Draft is underway.
Well, when you want some hope, bring up a Chuan Rubik.
Chuan Rubik. If that won't do it, nothing will. And here we go. Into the draft, Rubik, Kunkka. They also get the Kunkka, but they have given away the Darkseer, something that LGD just loves to run. I would say this is like top 3 heroes for LGD right now.
And the scary thing is Lone Druid is still in the pool, not picked up by either team just yet. LGD deciding to go for the Darkseer over it, but it could still fit in LGD's lineup. They do have the Darkseer, not the hero that LGD normally ran a tri-lane, so we could see a Lone Druid mid with Darkseer in the off lane.
Yeah.
But then you kind of have to look at what kind of a tri-lane do you put, and who's actually going to be in the tri-lane farmer, because then you've got sort of Zhao 8 playing some kind of maybe a Juggernaut type tri-lane, but it's not really the most conventional LGD style of play.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Sylar, he could also take the Lone Druid mid. That's something they've done, which they have had success with. So maybe we'll see that this game, hard to say, but, well, for the time being, if they do run a safe lane Lone Druid, maybe IG aggressive tri-lane that and try to punish it. We've seen them be pretty successful. I would say when IG has had their most success, it's with aggressive lanes, aggressive drafts, and early pressure. LGD go Wisp again. This time they do it in the first phase.
Yeah,
they'll follow up with the CK Wisp here, and guys,
this
what do you
smart,
think?
because if they don't pick up in the first stage, IG ban. After last game, it's like, okay, the 4th, 5th pick Wisp is their little strategy, but this time around, it's like, okay, let's get early on.
And IG, right back to the Chen. Could be an aggressive tri-lane with these 3 heroes. Could be a solo mid Kunkka. Could be a dual roam strat with a Kunkka mid. It's an open draft for IG, but they've given it away again.
Yeah, I'm thinking IG have been playing and practicing a lot with Chen, have had some good success, so they want to keep going. I feel IG's draft last game was fine. Sure, even though the other team had the Wisp CK, which was played so well, I think IG was just a bit of misexecution with the item builds, with also just fighting too early before they had the Chen mech. So I think this is something that it's okay. They need to sort of play against Wisp CK, and it's something which we're definitely looking forward to. TI3 is going to see a lot of, unless they want to ban it every game.
Well, it's a high stakes match to get your practice in. $160,000 tournament, this Dota 2 Super League. So sure, it's not the international, but it's still a lot of money. IG, they don't just want to practice against CK Wisp. They actually want to beat it here.
Oh yeah, they want to beat it. It's a lot of money, but both teams at this point guaranteed to go to the playoffs. So this series now is just going to decide who gets 2nd place in the group, who gets 3rd place.
Right.
Either way, 2nd and 3rd place both have to play in like the round of 6. So it's like you have your 2 round of 6 matches, which is essentially your quarterfinals. Then the teams who finish 1st in the group are straight in the semifinals. So either way, winning this match, whether you get 2nd or 3rd, the only thing it affects is who you play from the other group.
Well, let's see who's going to take it. Actually, LGD ban out the Necrolite, one of those strong 5-man pushing heroes in the mid game. Someone who can maybe build the mech early. And LGD, they don't want IG to overwhelm them with just a group up and push.
No, they definitely don't. They want to... surprising Necrolite ban, I guess. Maybe something they've seen IG use in scrims.
Well, I mean, it's good in push strats if you can get the early farm.
It's actually looking back at around the TI2 time, and even like last G1 League and even last G League, they ran it 1v1 against Darkseer a number of times.
And I know Bulba cast a couple of those games with me and was convinced that Necrolite can win the lane and do it pretty heavily, but
we never saw him win the lane.
We never saw that.
He always broke even on farm. That's what we saw there. He'd break even on farm, which was okay.
Well, Lone Druid will be the final ban here for LGD. I might be slightly misquoting Bulba, but yeah, he definitely said that he can do really well in the lane. Lone Druid, the final ban, actually slips through the first 6 picks, ignored, and rather surprising because Zhou's a fantastic Lone Druid player, Sylar is a fantastic one, and we've even seen Yao try his hand at it.
Yeah, as for IG, all their bans targeted at Zhao 8 solo mid hero, so that leaves Keeper of the Light still in the pool, and we'll see once again the same tri-lane coming out from LGD, and you've got to imagine this is going to be a safe lane tri-lane. I don't think IG can contest this at all. I think they've just got to go safe lane. For one thing, they've got a Chen, not a good aggressive hero in sort of the laning stage. You need to get your levels, you need to get some items up. So I think if anything, we see IG pick up some kind of a safe lane farmer and then just play a very standard game here. The problem is they need a strong offlaner for YYF, which they don't have yet.
We saw Bounty Hunter last game, wasn't very effective. What are they going to go for here? There's a Beastmaster in the pool. Not normally a traditional offlaner, but could go solo mid. Kunkka, I mean, if they do want an aggressive tri-lane, that is an option. You can also just put the Kunkka mid and then dual roam the Rubik Chen. Maybe you don't go for the ganks right away, but around that 5-minute mark, that's when you can get going.
Yeah, it's where it can really start to happen. I think one key thing here for IG is to not let that Wisp get the fast level 6 we saw last game, but it's kind of hard to do, especially if you're not going to go trialing against it. So I'm not sure whether they look to maybe go for a too aggressive roaming supports. They could maybe go for a smoke gang. If they want to do that, they need an offlane hero who has some firepower, who doesn't. It's not a bounty hunter, basically.
I mean, the beauty of this draft for LGD is because they start with Darkseer, if you go aggressive tri-lane to try and shut down the CK Wisp, that's where Darkseer is going to have a 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
He'll have a very fast mech, and even if you win the tri-lane, you maybe get punished there. So it's a really nice combo, getting CK Wisp kind of level dependent, don't really want to deal with an aggressive tri-lane for the most part, and then you have Darkseer. It's kind of a rock and a hard place for IG as far as how they lane this.
All the heroes who could, left alone, maybe deal with a Darkseer were banned out. You have your Lone Druid banned out, your Gyro, your Necro. These are the heroes who can 1v1. Morphling. And Winride. And a Slark.
What? And a Slark. and a flurry of picks. Out come the weird ones.
You go ooh over the Winride, and then suddenly there's a Slark, Morphling. No, nothing.
I was oohing over the Slark, truth be told.
Okay.
But it's still a very interesting draft. Gods, will introduce our challengers. IG, that's right. They are the challengers because they just have not been winning games. You've got Joe on the Morphling. 430 on the Kunkka heading towards the middle lane. Chuan on the Chen. Smoke picked up already. YYF, a signature hero player pair if there ever was one. He'll be on the Windrunner. And last but certainly not least, Faith on the Rubik.
Well, for the Radiant team, a team with a number of unusual picks that we've seen here tonight. We've got Yao playing that Dark, so he's going to be in the offlane. Zhao Wei on the solo mid Slark. Then we have your tri-lane. The tri-lane we saw last game. DD on the Keeper of the Light, DDC on the Wisp, and then the Chaos Knight for Sylar, a new hero to add to his repertoire.
The one thing I like for IG here is they've gotten a carry in the Morphling that isn't that easy to burst down. CK Wisp, even if you catch him, Reality Rift, Tether, all the spirits explode. If he's already morphing to strength and he's not too low, he can live through that. Windrunner, more survivable as a support, and they have a better late game as well. Aside from maybe if the Gyro got a Divine Rapier in game 1, but they can go later and they're harder to kill, and I think that's really important against CK Wisp.
Windrunner's a good hero with CK, because when they relocate in, it's generally possible to hit up a shackle shot, the 2-hero shackle shot, and Windrun great, of course, against the CK. Sure, they don't have a ton of magic nuke damage. A lot of it just could be the tether stun, allowing CK to get off more auto attacks, and YYF doing something smart here, not even going to go to the offlane. That tri-lane can zone him out 100%, so he's going to go straight jungle here, uses just maybe a level 1 power shot to get some early XP, probably go for a fast bottle as well.
Yeah, is he going to use those cheeky tricks from the high ground over here that we've seen in the past?
Also possible.
For the time being, looks like he may just start by safely farming the big camps. He's sitting on 500 gold. Could be rushing that early bottle. We'll see what YYF goes for, but Yao will be going to the offlane. And at least to start, can he get level 2? He should be able to. Against this tri-lane, Rubik, Morphling, Chen, they obviously can farm a lot, but not a good tri-lane to zone out a Darkseer.
Yeah, he needs to try to get that fast level 2. You can generally get it. He gets the double Iron Shell down, but he's not in XP range, is he?
No, he just is.
Okay, if you get the full first creep wave, you get your level 2, which is what he's trying to do here. He got 3 of the creeps. He needs the range creep. Just misses.
Chuan really wants to stop it. They'll lift him and throw him back. He doesn't have Surge. Oh, he could be in trouble. It's not a good killing tri-lane, but it might be enough anyway. He's got a salve. That Stout Shield doing work. They do force the salve cancel, though, as well as the rotation from DD. Call it a big victory. And DD doesn't actually have any HP regen because he pulled the Slark. 2 sets of regen, a healing salve, and a Tango. So Yao's in a lot of trouble.
This is trouble for, definitely trouble for you. I think he goes straight to the jungle here almost after using up a lot of that regen. Just go jungle in that small camp. The big thing there is Yao, it's always this greedy, well, not so much greedy. You have the decision as a level 1 Darkseer. Do you go for the level 2 or not? You get the double Iron Shell down. If you get the full first creep wave, you get your level 2. He got the 3 melee creeps. He went for the range creep, but right before it died, he gets jumped and IG punish him.
Yeah, I mean, the safe play is you start in the jungle, you kill the small camp twice, then you're level 2, and you can do whatever you want at that point. But doesn't choose to play it safe, so, well, he'll be sitting back. Still not level 2, might have a hard time getting it. He'll buy another salve here, and then look to heal himself back up. But in the meantime, Wisp is having a ball in the jungle, already level 3 on DDC, and pretty much as high level as your solo mid Slark. That's just some impressive and efficient jungling from him.
Yeah, doing single, double, triple pulls here. It looks like, actually, I think he gets
a triple pull.
Yeah. He gets it to the 3rd camp, and he's actually going to kill this off. So not only is he getting levels, he's getting decent farm.
And he, really is. And I think he misses last hit there on the Dark Troll Warlord. But no harm, no foul. And towards the middle lane, so far, pretty even. Kunkka versus Slark. And Xiao, for him, it's just all about hitting level 6. Until he does, he'll be eating a lot of harassment. But once you have your Shadow Dance, you can pretty much always be at full HP, even against a Kunkka.
Yeah, the pulled Poor Man's Shield helps him out a little bit, as well as having all that regen. But I imagine we see a fast bottle out of him, just as a solo mid here. He can rune control pretty well. using the pounce, but we'll see what Ferrari does about that.
What
in the
do you
mid-lane.
think about Yao? He's still in this top lane, 2.5 minutes in, not level 2. Should he just be jungling?
I feel he'd be slightly better off there. They are giving some jungle here to DD, but he's a very slow jungler, and he could almost just share the XP with Darks if you really want. But Yao, I think he's finally decided to leave the top lane. No, he's just going to keep on blocking. He's doing this little trick here at the top lane where you block the melee creep so the range creep goes in front, and you can pull the wave back, but it's easy to counter this just by using neutral pulls.
Yeah, and that's what we see right now. Speaking of neutraling, we have Chuan in the jungle, has picked himself up a Wildkin, I imagine looking to do some stacks, and, well, he's going to get a double stack off, so more of that Extinct style, Chen. Get the early Wildkin, play defensively, and just look to farm as much as possible. And, well, he doesn't have a triple stack yet. Well, actually, sorry, he does. That's been created by YYF, so this is how they're going to find the levels for the Windrunner.
Yeah, and looks like he is going to tornado down this first camp. And as far as the other lanes go, we are going to see Zhao at mid lane. He's doing decently enough. He's actually winning the CS battle against Ferrari. Neither hero with huge CSs, but Ferrari slightly behind.
Deep in from Zhao 8. Going to man up here a little bit. 430. Not going to throw the torrent out, and has gone for that really early point. X marks the spot. Not leveling up the torrent yet. Bit of a divergence. We see a lot of Kunkka players, they wait until like level 8 to actually take any points in that.
Yeah, this is, I guess it's looking for the guaranteed setup. He picks up a 3rd point in Tidebringer at level 5, so interesting to see how this sort of pans out from. I guess you're guaranteed a torrent to land if you can get that 2nd point in X.
The other thing that I think AUI did mention when we were casting with him a week ago or so is I think we watched the game, and Dark Pact does not remove X, I believe. So I think you can still be pulled back in by X marks the spot, even through that.
Well, that's a cool little trick. Yeah, keeping an eye on this Wisp, so once again getting closer and closer to level 6. He's level 5 now, and he's just this is the problem with sacking the offlane. They could have had an offlane hero here, because this is essentially a solo CK.
Well, top lane's going to be a push from Chuan, not sitting in the jungle at this point. The Wildkin looks like it isn't going to be killing that big stack, not yet. YYF is chipping away to IG, pushing an early tier 1. There's no trade for LGD except getting a lot of experience. Yao hits level 2 at long last. Illuminate splashes through again, and IG really forcing the tower quite early to be doing it.
Yeah, they really want this. The Bassiam are going to help them out on Zhou, but I think even if they're getting this tower, it's not going to be... It helps, obviously. It gives them some early gold, but the trade-offs is a really fast Wisp level 6 and just giving LGD so much space in the other 2 lanes.
It's a CK Wisp that aren't even being remotely contested. Last game, we saw IG, they didn't lane a whole lot against it, but then they ganked it a lot, and I don't think we'll even see the ganks this game. You look at this IG lineup, they're just going for trades. They're going for late game. They don't have a great lineup to go and get aggressive. Kunkka can be a suitable ganker, but not a dominant one. Like your Beastmaster, so I imagine IG just going to play more for the late game here.
The one hero for IG, I mean, you mentioned late game, that's exactly what Windrunner is doing, just getting decent farm. This is actually level 4.5 already, so doing much better than an offlane Dark series. Just been using this big camp pull and just keeps on stacking it and got some decent levels and farm.
Yeah, as for Chuan, he's also doing some juggling of his own, a little bit behind, but if he finds another Wildkin and they're able to stack the big camp again, he can quickly hit level 5, level 6. The one thing is IG have 4 heroes top, so they're using the jungle well, but there's only so much jungle to go around.
Well, they are going to look for a gank here on mid lane. Can they get Zhao out? There's an X torrent, but oh, it lands with an ensnare. Great ensnare coming up from Chuan. That was a 1 HP Dark Troll.
Here comes the relocate back in onto 430. CK Wisp are here. They want the trade. They'll pull Chuan back in. Oh my goodness. LGD always using it to counter gank. Just perfect play so far, and sure they give up that kill, but it's only a Slark. Doesn't need that many levels or farm to be effective.
Yeah, you can see the fast Wisp level 6 catches IG completely by surprise there. I love Chuan's gank using a 1 HP Dark Troll. How often do you see something like that come out? Doesn't even get killed off, but LGD had the response necessary.
Jungle Windrunner, not the most efficient jungler. YYF is playing it really well, all things considered, but there's only so much this hero can do. He's been forced to go for the early bottle, not using it to control runes, just using it to kill the neutrals, and he's farming decently, but you compare that to what Yao should have been able to do in the jungle. If Yao had just started there, he'd be level 6 or 7. That's the one thing I don't really like this game is I guess he's contesting the Morphling's farm, but you could be very close to your level 7 or 8 at this point.
I think when you look at the Morphling's farm and you look at the fact that it took him 7 minutes to bring in this tier 1 tower, it was probably worth it to actually send the Darks to the offlane, because Zhou with just 27 CS, CK has 46. So
well, here could be the comeback mechanic as well, is this big camp that's being stacked. So maybe they give that to the Darkseer, and then he catches up.
Yeah, no, I think with LGD, it was sort of just... There was pros and cons to both.
Smoke gang towards the middle lane. Zhao 8 getting pulled back in, brought back by the X, even through the Dark Pact. Now the power shot comes through, cleans up the kill.
Nice bit of play there. The Sentry Ward at mid lane, just ensuring these kills do happen. And IG, They're not out of this by any means here. You've given CK this really fast level 6. You've given CK free farm, but they have some firepower of their own. And especially if Morphling can get some fast mid-game items, we're going to be seeing IG take the fight to LGD.
I mean, the more you look at it, Joe is really struggling in terms of CS. 32 and 15. Part of that is the fact that his team has been constantly pulling, and he's last hit under tower. But the other big part is just the Ion Shell harass. So
yeah. I'll
take back what I said earlier. It really seems to be slowing him down. You compare that to your CK. Sylar, well, he's almost got drums. 55 CS, 21 ahead. And normally Morphling is a carry that doesn't have problems last hitting because you can just morph to agility and have a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Morphling, even up against a Darkseer, is not farming, is completely outfarmed by this Chaos Knight. Not something you expect to happen. And IG, well, they're making the answers happen in mid lane with the 2 kills on the Slark, but I feel Slark's a hero who can do so much with absolutely no items.
Yeah, you just need the levels.
Yeah, it helps IG as far as getting ahead and getting some kills, but for Slark, it's like, well, that sucks, but hey, I'm still going to get just treads and do some good damage.
If you're just tuning in, it's a 1-0 lead for LGD. If they win this game, they'll be second place in the group. No matter what, both teams, they go to the playoffs. A 0 gold lead, dead even in terms of gold. Slightly now for the Radiant, and experience up by about close to 2,000. They'll smoke under cover of their tier 2, and they'll look to make a go on Sylar. I like how they're ganking the CK's lane, not trying to gank the other lanes, because that's where the relocate happens. They've rotated their entire team for this. They need to make something happen. Can they do it? They've got the boat. The backstab comes from DD, but he'll be too late to spot this gank out. 430 leading the charge. 2 points in X, and he wants to get aggressive. Power shots coming through. There's your tether. Back to the tower. DDC already level 8 with Arcane Boots. And diving into this, now that's pretty scary.
The problem is, Wisp can just relocate out of there unless they blow up Wisp instantly. And when they come back, maybe TPs come there and LGD can just hold their own. So IG, we saw this last game where once things didn't look too good for them, they went for a lot of smoke ganks. And once again, similar to last game, the smoke gank's not working out for them.
LGD, good game sense. And I mean, frankly, 4 hero smoke gank, pretty hard not to notice that many heroes off the map for this long. And IG, maybe they thought with so many heroes in the jungle that LGD wouldn't necessarily realize, but LGD just, that's been one of their strengths as of late, is just not getting picked off. Might happen now, though. I think I jinxed Sylar. He's in trouble, caught by the X. Torrent to follow, pulled back in, but the relocate from Wisp will bring them back to safety. The boat was used, the Torrent as well. Can they fight after the relocate comes back, or are they just going to let Wisp die? We'll find out in a few seconds. They have Phantasm. They're going back in, gods. Here we go. Back into the fray. Sylar jumps in, gets off the Phantasm. It's only level 1 DDC, blown up in a hurry. Xiaowei comes in. Jumps in first, hits everyone with a max Dark Pack, doing all sorts of damage. YYF, Ion Shell burning him to bits. He'll fall. Xiaowei with that haste rune, going to work, having a blast, looking for Ferrari, looking for Zhou. They'll find 430. He bites the dust. Sylar once more. The chasing power of LGD is spectacular, but Xiaowei misses his leap, won't be able to latch on to Faith. Faith actually turns that around and kills him off. Might come at the cost of the rest of the team. Zhou using Morph, but it's not enough. Triple kill for Sylar. LGD. What a great counter gank.
Wow, I mean, I think IG just got completely overconfident there. They wait around for a Wisp CK coming back in, but they don't take into account that 10 seconds, that's 10 seconds LGD had to repair. They timed the Darkseer TP. Chaos Knight came in with an Iron Shell on him. And the other thing is, he's coming from the Fountain, so he uses the Phantasm, the ultimate, and he instantly regens that mana, because you do get the 2-3 seconds of Fountain regen. Yeah. So he didn't have any mana problems at all that fight. He was so tanky and
even though DDC died immediately. DDC has Arcane Boots. Without him, Sylar, he's a bit lackey to mod in some cases, but not the case there. Now has an Ogre Club. Nobody's farming well in this game. Only 67. Well, actually, sorry. Sylar is farming pretty well. 6 CS a minute. Not overwhelming, but now it's going to be hard for IG to find the farm. With this kind of a start on a CK Wisp, I feel like even though Morphling is a hero that can live through the combo if he's farming well, when he's not farming well, he's likely to just get blown up anyway.
Yeah, and with CK, just got so much momentum going their way. Sylar's going to be looking for that BKB, and when something like that is up, IG can... It's like last game. Where's the answer?
This game,
Joe.
They're going to go in on Joe. Oh, he gets chopped apart.
That last hit crit.
He's too squishy. Yeah. I think Morphling is one of the few carries that if he has a good start, can tank through that. You know, if you have maybe your Ring of Aquila completed, something like the Ultimate Orb working towards a Linked Sphere, which you could definitely have at this point, or at least have a Bracer if you want to go for drums. He has nothing along those lines, just not farming well, and now an easy kill. If CK Wiz can do that to your Morphling, imagine what they can do to everyone else.
This is meant to be the hero who's durable, hard to kill, hard to gank, and that's just 2 heroes ganking him often.
And it looks like they even used Hand of God there from Chuan, and still wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's looking really tough for IG here. Their solo mid Kunkka. just finishing off a bracer right now. This is absolute desperation from most of these heroes here. They're not getting a single core item. The mech from Chuan's Chen, once again, not looking all too fast. YYF just has some arcane boots on his Windrunner. The item progression just is not there, and they need it ASAP.
They've got another smoke on YYF. They really want to force these fights, but LGD, no such rush for them. They'll park 3 heroes bottom, they'll put the CK Wisp mid, and they'll pressure both towers. And for IG, they have to react with their entire team or they'll just get relocated upon. Joe, he's created a replicate. He'll waveform forward and then send the replicate the other direction. Xiao8 with the DD root, giving chase. Everybody teleports in. CK Wisp come, and they look for kills. YYF on the run, but Windrun's about to end. He gets pulled back. 1 chop, 2 chops, down he goes. DDC may fall here, but I think that's okay. He's low. Can he get out in time? He cannot. Dies, but then the turnaround comes. Sylar with Ion Shield doing so much damage, and 430 will fall as well. Chuan maybe next in line. Sylar's not done yet. He wants another kill. How does he have so much mana? He's always got it. The Wisp keeping him fresh for most of the fight, and in the end, guys, another 4 heroes dead. IG is just falling apart before our eyes.
The chasing potential of the CK, even with Wisp dead, is still so scary. And I think that's something with IG, like, okay, burst down the Wisp and maybe we can look to break even, but CK at this point, so tanky. Treads drum, high base movement speed. You can't run from this hero. And with an Iron Shell, with a Surge as the other big thing, IG are just melting one by one, and CK's tanky enough that he's diving towers, tanking towers, and just getting kills. And
Slark actually dishes out a crap load of damage without items. You can see Dark Pack, one of the most spammable nukes in the game, does 300 damage over the course of those pulses. Even pounces a lot of damage. That was buffed repeatedly over the past couple of patches, and so Slark, if you ignore him and you focus the CK, even if you can kill the CK, you got to start to worry about Xiao8. And they have the mech up on Yao. They had it in that last fight, it looks like, and that's just going to allow LGD to continue to find fights and be aggressive. And although IG went for a stronger late game lineup, some heroes that seem survivable, we are just seeing that it doesn't matter if your heroes have escape mechanisms or if they have things like Morph. If CK Wisp get ahead, they still kill you from full HP.
It's really not going to matter now because CK, he's got enough gold for his BKB. I imagine we see that flying out. Korean Youth, where have with CK gone now? They've gone on in bottom.
Joe, he's created a replicate. He's able to get away. Okay. But can he get out in time? He's got the waveform. If he toggles to intelligence treads, just has it now. He gets pulled back in when he was about to wave. Can't escape in the end. He was really overextended, though. He was there by himself before the CK Wisp even showed up. And
they'll defend mid as well. IG were trying to go for a bit of a trade at mid tier 1, but
it just feels like IG doesn't play well against the CK Wisp. I feel you just have to ban it now if you're them. I mean, regardless of how this game turns out, they just do not seem comfortable against it.
Yeah, it's not working. And I think they were maybe just expecting the fact that LGD aren't that capable with this hero, but they've proven right now that they are easily capable of using this hero.
Well, LGD got a heavy dose of CK Wisp at some points at the event, and they saw the power of that combo, and they've been training. That's one thing the Chinese, maybe they're not the most innovative teams, but teams like LGD, if you use a tactic against them, they will study it, and then they'll try to perfect it. And
especially when they have a big match like this coming up against IG, they would have been not scrimming against IG, or if they were, they wouldn't have been showing this Wisp bait.
They'll go in now. They pull YYF in, but no tether stun there. Able to run away. Vacuum on the backlines. Catches out a few. Xiao8 jumps in. Once 430. Can he find him? Ion Shell's there. BKB from Sylar as well. Giving chase. Looking for kills. 430 is so tanky. The Coco Rum keeping him alive. Juking forever and a day, but in the end, 430. No, the shackle from YYF. Can the Y God save his buddy? 430 still running. Still running. Can't live. Why are you kidding me? Come on, my friend. That's just not fair, but they're not done yet. Joe's on the back line. Xiao8 is stealing all his agility. What can he do? Pulled back. It looks like YYF's going to go down now. Sylar is just decapitating the entire IG squad, and gods, wouldn't surprise me if they tapped out now.
Oh my gosh, that Kunkka, as tanky as he was, CK was like, I'm going to get you. I'm just going to keep on chasing, and sure, he gets the kill eventually. It's actually 2 kills going away with IG. It's the best fight they've had all game long, and it's still
not nearly good enough.
It's still a 4-for-2 trade.
It's a 10k gold lead nearly for LGD. They also lead by about 12,000 experience, looking confident, looking poised, and I love the item selections from LGD. We see Xiao8, early vitality booster for him. The BKB on CK, sure, it's obvious, but it's just such a suitable choice this game. The mech, all these items just let them fight now, fight effectively. They don't want to let IG sit back and farm. They're snowballing their advantage, and we may see a relocate gank here soon. Sylar and DDC hanging out the base.
As far as item pickups, I don't know how much you love this one, but DD has got some interesting items.
Wow.
I saw the phase boots earlier and had a little chuckle to myself. Because he was like
I guess it's for Chuan. You can take over his creeps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. I'm not sold on it, but hey.
I mean, it could be a 4 staff. Probably a more useful item, but
Yeah.
Let him have his fun. He's certainly earned it so far.
Yeah, Darkseer has the mech, so I guess he's like, okay, we don't need a mech.
Shao 8 pulled back in. He's trying to debuff this X, but you can't, and he gets thrown back. Doesn't matter. Shackle to a tree. I have no idea how that one even latched, but in comes CK Wiz on the back lines. They find Sylar, or rather Chuan, and they want some more. 4:30 on the run. Should be going down soon. Pulls him back in, into the cleaver. This is really the Pudge of our times. The Butcher just going to work. Sylar, a painful beatdown, beat administered. Joe tries to TP out. Can he get away? No back for 3 seconds. He'll barely escape. Again, the lone survivor. I feel like I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, it's happening over and over again. IG just getting almost wiped, but it may as well be Team White's here. They're going to lose a tower on top of this. LGD just looking unbeatable right now against IG, and I guess the question is, we've seen IG with some disappointing results lately. Is this LGD being absolutely amazing with their player, or is IG just struggling?
I think it's LGD playing well. I think it's both, but I would even lean more towards just IG playing poorly. Why are you giving away Wisp after that game 1? It just baffles me. And I mean, maybe they thought it wouldn't be picked until the second stage, but Chuan's going to get caught out and picked off in a hurry. Pulled back in, blown up. What's wrong with IG? We're about to find out because another's going to go down. This game looks to be all but over. Can IG somehow fight their way back out? The boat comes in. A beautiful boat. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it. Sylar pops his Phantasm and then decides to use it to kill off his own illusion created by Joe. He jumps up onto the high ground. Now goes to work. Can he bring anyone down? He's really diving for this. Still has his BKB. Hasn't popped it. 4-second stun and crits galore. Seems like too much. IG just getting humiliated in the base. You don't see this very often.
An 18.5-minute GG. If this was a companion game, we almost would be in that 18-minute mark. But LGD just, I don't know. They play amazing.
What's wrong with them? I think that's a legitimate question now. This team, this is no longer just an aberration. It's no longer they got 2-0'd by Tongfu. Maybe they had an off day. LGD chuckling in the booth. They're feeling content. They're feeling happy. Yeah. I think it's fair now to say there is something seriously wrong with IG.
IG, yeah. I think it's a combination. Like you said, LGD are playing some of the best Dota in such a long time, but IG, the drafts they played, some of the decision-making just doesn't quite seem to be there. I feel both games they go for the Chen. I don't like how they use it that much in either of the two games, but you can't take this away from LGD. They played some amazing Dota, and a team who's slumping is going to get crushed by that every single time.
The other thing is LGD were running a Wisp lineup, so if you start to win, the game starts to look silly towards the end, but I mean, things like getting that early helm of the Dominator and the Gyrocopter in game 1 when you pretty much have to 5-man with that lineup, wasn't a big fan of that. And I think, like you said, I don't know that IG really utilized the Chen to maximum effectiveness. Chuan's a fantastic micro player, but it's more just how the Chen fits into their strategy. Kind of a passive jungler for the most part, and that's not really what you want against CK Wisp.
No, not at all. And this basically solidifies our Group A results. Tongfu are going to finish first. LGD get the second place.
Yeah.
Even though they beat Tongfu, it's based on the total matches won and lost, I believe.
And Tongfu has one more win than them, I believe?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the total games won and lost?
Yeah, I think I'm actually not 100% sure on that. I'm pretty
Guts could be wrong. We'll double check that, guys. We'll sort it out.
This straight from the admins.
Okay.
Tongfu are first.
Okay.
Tongfu are first.
Maybe the admins are Hal fanboys. They like his new haircut.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The one series LGD lost. No, LGD lost to Tongfu. That's head to head.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, because like both series Tongfu and LGD lost was a 2-1. But yeah, it goes to head to head. Similar story for third and fourth place. We can maybe be able to take a look at the groups, the brackets now. Third and fourth place, we've got both IG and Vici Gaming on 2 wins, 2 losses.
Well, in any case, we've told Kawa like 3 different group results, so he can't really do the brackets anyway. But
I'll give you the verbal, which is third place. You have IG, Vici Gaming, both with 2 wins, 2 losses, but it goes to head to head. Both with total of 4 games won, 4 games lost. Head to head, IG beat Vici Gaming 2-0.
So, Vici Gaming, just another sad story for them. They came just short in the qualifiers. I felt like at their best, they were actually better than Rattlesnake, but they just didn't play very well against them. And, well, they won't be going to Seattle. Now they won't be advancing to the playoffs of the Dota 2 Super League. We've been talking about how IG is struggling, but Vici Gaming, so close yet so far.
And they're not really, I feel like they're playing at least close to their best generally. It's just they're not quite as stable as they need to be.
They're not consistent.
And they've also had some bad luck. I mean, you mentioned being knocked out here. This, to me, Group A is Group of Death.
Yeah, Group B, you have teams like Rising Stars, Orange, who don't always play. They actually look good at G1, but don't always play at the best on Chinese soil, and seems like a bit of a weaker group.
I think the reason why at the start they looked like balanced group, but then you had Tongfu who just suddenly are like, okay, this isn't the Tongfu from 2 months ago that was losing to Dreams.
Well, look at IG. I mean, just not really talking to each other, sitting in the booth.
Oh, man.
This is a demoralized team. That's for sure.
They need to just get home, talk things out, and come up with a plan. They're still in the playoffs, though, which is the good news here. They're still going to the international, of course.
And 4:30, he'll have some time to make the rounds, get some extra food. Even though Chuan's the one that everyone jokes about eating a lot, 4:30, apparently during his breaks, he just, when he has some off time, he just goes to like 5 restaurants, eats the entire day, and a man after your own heart.
Yeah, I love eating myself. I don't think they have any matches coming up anytime soon. This is it for them. At least
until the playoffs.
Until the playoffs, which I believe is not for at least another 10 or so days. Group B matches are going to be going like the next week or so. Group B with DK, LG International, Orange, Rising Stars, and Rattlesnake. Those 5 teams.
You know, lgd, another team that we just haven't seen these guys in a while, and word on the street is they've been struggling a lot. I think
we had the one best of 3 against Rattlesnake, which was actually in the Do2 Super League, which they won 2-1.
Okay.
But that's the only Group B match played so far. They're playing tomorrow against DK, though, which will be a great match.
That's going to be fantastic. DK, another Chinese team that's kind of in not disarray, but hasn't really been consistent as of late. I feel like you look at Group B especially, and Orange, they actually look pretty good at G1 League, but generally haven't done that well on foreign soil in the past. Rising Stars, up and down. LGD kind of trying to find their footing. They had that mojo when they first started the G League, and they've slowed down teams. At least it seemed like teams have started to figure them out. So Group B, kind of who's going to bounce back and who's just going to reassert themselves. That's sort of the storylines I'm looking at.
Yeah, Group B is hard to really call. I think Group A was kind of, you had your, Group A, I don't think anyone predicted Tongfu first, but you had 4 Love there. No one really expected them to win a series.
It's also like you had all these known entities in Group A, whereas Group B, I feel like all these teams that, what are they going to give you? You're just not sure.
Well, I think that does it from us for today. We only had the one best of 3. This is our day off after lots of time.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
We'll have a rebroadcast coming up as per usual on Beyond the Summit for those of you who missed Game 1, want to rewatch it. Although I imagine a lot of you will be tuning in. I think there's a Raidcon match which AC is casting soon, but we'll be back tomorrow. I think it's a lot early. I think it's one of those 2 p.m. matches at Singapore time, which is
11 p.m. our time.
Yeah.
Nearly midnight here.
11 p.m. DK versus LGD International. And I think later that night, at same time as today, which is 5 a.m. Pacific time, is Rising Stars versus Rattlesnake, if I recall correctly.
And we can really get into Group B at that point. We've had the one match so far between Rattlesnake as well as LGD. But guys, we're going to really dive into it, sink our teeth into it over the next couple of days. The story for today is LGD. They take down IG. They do it 2-0. They are going to be your second place team in Group A. Tongfu, they'll be headlining the group. IG gets the tiebreaker over Vici Gaming. So those 3 teams advancing, Tongfu, then LGD, then IG, all of them into the playoffs. As for Group B, who's going to advance, we'll start to uncover that and untackle that. That's not a word. We'll start to unravel that. That's the word I had in mind in the coming days. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you later.